Hello, welcome to Night's Arcade. I'm Sleepless Night, and I've been playing Journey to the Savage Planet. This is going to be a first impressions video with a bit of a difference from my normal ones because I decided to take a slightly less structured approach. I've just written down a few notes here, and I'm just going to read through them, what I've observed so far, because, you know, before I was making it way too long, and I wasn't getting a lot of them out. So, you know, we're just reading off from notes here, but I've been playing Journey to the Savage Planet. In Journey to the Savage Planet, you've been sent by Kindred Aerospace to planet ARY-26 in your Javelin spacecraft / habitat with absolute minimum, and they do mean minimum, resources to explore, analyze, catalogue, and ultimately determine if the planet is fit for human colonization. I'm loving this game so far. There is wonderful humour from the very first moment the game starts. I particularly like Echo, the ship's computer. She's a fantastic character.
If you can find a local fuel source, you'll be able to get back home. If you can't, congratulations, you're home already.
A bit like GLaDOS from the Portal series, but a bit more chirpy and a lot less mean.
Your friend messed up. This is why I prefer you.
Well, a little less mean. The game will also regularly show live-action video ads and messages from Kindred Aerospace CEO Martin Tweed, who starts to show his true colours before very long, and it'll show you videos like this pretty much whenever you return to your off-world habitat, the Javelin. Every video and ad for a crappy product is hilarious and adds depth to the world your astronaut / explorer is a part of. They add lots of tiny little details, little things like finger smudges on computer monitors and spilled coffee and broken or misused sanitation equipment, and they all really add to that feeling of half-arsed space exploration, like if Ryanair or Spirit Airlines, if you're in the US, began an interstellar exploration company, this is what it might feel like.
That's not supposed to look like that.
It's a very bright and colourful game, and the local wildlife is weird and inventive. Every creature is different from the last, each has a different look, a new weakness, often a new attack, and presumably a completely different taste from any creature you've seen before on Earth or on ARY-26. They are really that different from one another. Confession time. There are 2 or 3 things I really don't often like about video games. And this game has 2 of them. Nail-biting mountaineering platform traversal, which drives me nuts, and boss fights. I'll just let that sink in for a minute. Yes, that's right, I said it. I hate boss fights. I love to be completely immersed in a video game, no matter how bizarre the game's premise. And a 20-minute fight with a bullet sponge boss is something I find irritating, immersion breaking, controller breaking eventually, and frankly, quite boring. Luckily, the boss creatures in this game are not the simple bullet sponge type. They are the slightly less irritating find the weakness, great, now find the next weakness type. And that's slightly better than the bullet sponges. I can deal with those a little bit better than bullet sponge bosses. As for the platforming, it's the type beloved of so many games from the Star Wars universe, where you climb precarious ledges for 30 minutes with increasing difficulty the further you get from the ground. Though at least in Journey to the Savage Planet, these are mostly natural formations, so unlike many Star Wars climbs, you haven't got to wonder what the hell the architect of this space station was thinking when he put that 3-ton pendulum axe type thingy on a 300-foot high ledge right in front of that maintenance hatch. Also, when some fire-spitting creature knocks you off a ledge to your death after a 30-minute climb, you don't always die in Journey to the Savage Planet. As long as your health is high enough when you fall, you are put back exactly where you were, for some reason, by a robotic probe that bears more than a passing resemblance to a mini version of Claptrap from the Borderlands series, and you can carry on along your way. I can make my peace with those things in this game, though, for very simple reasons. It's insanely fun, and it's insanely funny.
Oh, good news, bad news. Good news is those things you ate made you way harder to kill. Bad news is you're harder to kill because most of your bones have been replaced with rock-hard space tumors. Good news, potential partners dig tumors. Or so I hear.
When it comes to gaming, for me at least, humour makes up for a lot of blunders, and this game has humour in bucket loads, and honestly, not very many blunders that I can see so far, and I'm about 5 hours into it, I guess. It's meant to be fun, and it's meant to be funny, and it is very definitely both. And if you like your helpings of funny fun with a buddy, the game has a 2-player co-op mode, which is how I've spent most of my playing time so far. The way they get around this in the story, which I absolutely love, is that you can print out a meat copy of yourself from waste products.
Meat buddy!
Hey, buddy. So, you died, and I made a clone of you that shares your memories. Listen, just don't overthink.
Cooperative progress is separate from single-player progress, I think. And it is one of those co-op games where some actions are restricted to the player whose party you're in. You do still get achievements, both of you, but some actions are restricted to the lead player or lead scientist in this case. But they are mercifully very few and far between, and mostly it's just about reading certain types of messages, so, no biggie, your player partner can just read those out to you. The 3D printer on your ship is able to print equipment and equipment upgrades as long as you can locate the necessary resources to do so. So you can upgrade your backpack into a jetpack that with increasing functionality as you unlock new upgrades and research new things for it and collect resources. You can learn to use the planet's environment to utilize a grapple. And although it looks as though there is only one gun, you can harvest resources to research and print upgrades for it that will make things a little more interesting. Failing that, you can kick or slap things that just won't cooperate, or take it out on nearby wildlife, if kicking the thing that won't cooperate might break your foot.
These crystals look extremely breakable. You could take out some unexamined aggression on them.
The only real downsides I've noticed so far are that certain controls and interactions are not as crisp as I might like. The viewpoints are sometimes just a little bit odd and sort of disorienting, like when you use a grapple. I don't particularly like the viewpoint you get when using a grapple, which is a bit of a disappointment because using the grapple in certain areas, particularly where there are grapple rails, can be tremendously fun. There are occasional glitches here and there, but nothing game-breaking. And playing cooperatively, you need to be careful in precarious places because you can damage your partner, and actually simply running past your partner can knock them off a ledge to their doom, so watch your step. The game does give you occasional hints, but a lot of things you simply have to work out for yourself, so pay attention to the hints that do pop up and make sure you read through your menus from time to time. There are occasionally things that are poorly explained, but nothing that has so far caused me, anyway, any major issues. For example, you can use teleport points separately from your co-op partner, but the game sometimes just brings your partner along for the ride, whether they like it or not. You get a bit of a countdown, but it took a couple of these moments before we figured out that the game only brings both of you when the area you're about to teleport to means loading in an entirely new map. And as far as I can tell, although you can independently teleport to different areas of a map and back to the Javelin as and when you like, you cannot teleport to a different map without bringing your co-op partner with you, which, that makes sense. So you do need to communicate before pressing things. As always, my opinions of this game may change as I play more of it. It doesn't happen all that often, but it has happened before. Generation Zero looked promising to me in the first couple of hours, but I have never made an ultimate review of it because it quickly became so boring, I just honestly couldn't bring myself to put in the necessary hours that I would need to make an ultimate review. Journey to the Savage Planet gets a thumbs up from me so far, and if you're interested, I will be live streaming it from the beginning in a SideKicKS co-stream tomorrow, Saturday the 1st of February at midnight. If you want to join us in the chat, there's a link to my Mixer channel in the description below and on the YouTube channel header, and you can follow me on Twitter at @knights_arcade for updates and information about my live streams, upcoming videos and other general stuff. But if YouTube is your preferred platform, leave a like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I post new content. But until next time, from Knights Arcade, This is Sleepless Night, saying nighty-night.
Stay alive, and see you soon.
Long-term space travel is not for everyone. Side effects from long-term space travel are uncommon, but can include headache, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, dizziness, dysentery, chest pain, varicose veins, bloody stools, feeling of emptiness or hopelessness, osteoarthritis, hemorrhoid, diabetes, forgetfulness, gender confusion, spontaneous dental prolapse, mild discomfort, or death. If you notice any of these symptoms, please contact your kindred representative as soon as possible, and all efforts will be made to help and/or rescue you. Note that current rescue times exceed 6 months.